Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode on what? Two Puerto Ricans and a Black Gurl. Yes. Today we are talking about rebound relationships. I'm really curious to see what everyone's perspective is. What is a rebound relationship? How long is a rebound time lapse in between for it to be considered a rebound relationship? We're going to find out shortly. I'm Gigi, the dope widow.
Hey guys, I'm the love guru.
Hey guys, and I'm Mimi, the lifestyler, and welcome to this episode.
Yes, I can't wait.
So, rebound relationships, ladies.
Yes.
Question is, why do we start them? And what are we getting from them?
I don't know. You have an answer? Love guru? Because I do. It's in my head already.
I think we start rebound relationships in order to forget the one relationship that we got out of. In Spanish, there is a saying, and it says, un clavo saca a otro clavo. That means one nail takes out another nail, meaning for you to forget this person, you got to start and get into another relationship, like occupy your mind with somebody else so that you forget the relationship that you were in. But in all reality, that is not healthy. Mm-hmm. So I don't agree with rebound relationships. I think they do more damage than they do help or heal.
So rebound relationships, piggybacking a little bit off of what she just stated, it really doesn't help. It happens when you don't. Rebound relationships happen when you don't take the time, as our last episode about recovering after a relationship, when you don't take that time to recover, right? And you kind of make these wrong decisions and you jump into something immediately. It's almost like you're trying to fill in this empty void. For me, it's like putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. Does that really help? It doesn't really help at all. It's not even a real temporary solution. But something that you had stated, that it's unhealthy to jump into that, but you don't know you're doing a rebound relationship, right? When you off of an old relationship and you don't take the time to heal, you're kind of looking to fill in those empty spaces of your emotions. You want somebody to give you that attention. You sometimes want to one-up the partner that you were with. If they're with a relationship right now, you want to say, I'm with a relationship too. And so that first person that gives you that attention, you jump into it just to fill in that space, just as a distraction. And sometimes I think people jump into it subconsciously, not with the intent of having a rebound, but it ends up being a rebound. What do you think? I have a whole lot on this topic.
So how do we consider a rebound relationship? Like, when does it start? What's the time limit? Like, so I've broken up with somebody, and 2 months later I'm with somebody. Are we considering that if I'm with a rebound relationship? If I'm with somebody 6 months later, like, is the time a consideration in the fact of it being a rebound relationship? For me, rebound relationship too, I think I don't want to be the innocent bystander in the rebound relationship. So what I'm trying to say is, I think it's always somebody who's going to get the short hand of the stick in that, because it's like you here trying to fill a void because your feelings are hurt, your heart is broken. You're looking for love. You're looking for entertainment. You're looking for something to take up some of your time. And then when you go through in those phases, like rebound relationships, I think have phases. So you have the phase where it's all cotton candy and nice, and you're like, oh, this person, this person is everything that my past person wasn't. Like, bells go off when you see them. This goes off. Then you got the next phase where it's like, okay, now you start seeing things that's like, okay, this gets on my nerves. And then you got to another phase where it's like, okay, now I really don't want to be here, because you just jumped into that. You really don't know this person. So you jumped into all this because you had all these feelings that you didn't deal with. that you didn't sit down and rest with yourself. Like sometimes you just gotta hurt.
Yeah.
You just gotta be in pain and deal with it and work through the pain and know how to handle pain. How are you going to know how to work through any, like you're going to get challenges in life, it's going to keep coming. How are you going to ever know how to handle any challenges if you keep putting, like you said, a Band-Aid over them and just keep moving through?
Exactly.
Like we got to learn how to plant our feet and take on the damn pain and know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's where, so what you were saying, Mimi, I do agree with what you were saying. And I believe that when you start a relationship, and I mentioned this before, it's like starting these rebound relationships, it's like starting it on quicksand. There's no solid foundation because the reason is you're trying to pacify your emotions, like you were saying. You haven't had time to heal. So when you're in a hurt place, you're so vulnerable. The minute that one person says something to you, you feel that euphoria. You know, in a new relationship is always euphoric. And so when you jump in from one relationship to another relationship to another relationship, you're looking, the beginning feels like, oh, this could be it. And I do believe there's a fine line between a rebound relationship and maybe a real relationship.
Yeah.
Thinking you're in love, but you're not really in love. You're having someone kind of feed into your emotions because you're so broken from the previous one. You know, people telling you you're beautiful, people giving you attention, spending time with you. Again, it's that Band-Aid over that bullet wound. If you do not deal with your emotions, it's so unfair to that next person because you're not really starting on a solid foundation. You're starting on emotions is what really allowed you to move on. I have to get over this person. Their distraction, whether it's the distraction with the sex, whether it's a distraction of going out to dinner, whether it's the distraction of them making you laugh, is a distraction to take your mind off of the person that you're no longer with. And now you still, but when you have that time of healing, that person is always going to be in your head. It takes you to jump and start a new relationship the right way for you to start letting go of those emotions. But I think that's completely different than jumping into something because you are emotionally vulnerable and you need someone to kind of pacify your emotions.
Yeah, and
starting off wrong.
You know, they go into this relationship and it's definitely, Mimi mentioned something in the beginning and she said, I don't like to be on the other side of a rebound relationship. And the people who are the ones that are jumping into this relationship, they go into these rebound relationships under false pretenses. You know, the other person doesn't know what their intentions are. They think that they're going in and they're meeting this person and you know what, they're starting a fresh new relationship. They're going in a positive way and they don't understand or know what the other person's ulterior motive is behind going into this relationship. So, you know, although they're not right with themselves, they're setting out to destroy and break someone else's heart, which is where, you know, where I don't agree with and I don't like it, you know. And at the end of the day, they go into these relationships and like you said, they're trying to forget this person that they just had this relationship with, and it's euphoric, like you said, it's happy, you know, they get the butterflies, you know, the text, the calls, the this, the that, until, like Mimi said, they hit this roadblock and all of a sudden they're starting to meet this person and they think that, you know, the grass is green on the other side, and it isn't. You know, she has or he has the same flaws as the other person. You know, and because you didn't take the time to heal, you didn't identify what those flaws were and what those triggers were and how you need to heal from it, first of all, and now the signs that you need to look for if you go into a new relationship.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Just rebound relationships don't sit well with me. They're damaging and they're hurtful to the people who are on the other side who do not deserve, you know,
yeah, that's
what
the innocent bystander is the person who is really affected by it. But
and in reality, do you honestly think that you break up today with somebody and in 2 days you meet this girl or you meet this guy and you're gonna forget about 5 years of a relationship that you were just in? In what mind, what sane mind do you think that that's gonna happen? Yes, for the moment, the sex may be amazing. And for that, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes that you guys are intimate, you may forget about that person, or maybe not even then, because while you're having sex, you're thinking, oh, he's not like the guy that I was just with.
Right.
Or she's not touching me the way, you know, my ex-girlfriend knew how to touch me. So it's a rebound. You know, rebound sex, rebound relationship, whatever you want to call it, it is a rebound. And it's not going to help you to forget.
I know.
And I'm sorry, Gigi.
No, go ahead, Mimi. It's okay.
You said in like 5 days or so. This is what I think happens as well. I think so if somebody was in a relationship and they just got out of a relationship, a month, 5 days, 2 months, 3 months, I still think that that's a short amount of time. I think 6 months is a short amount of time, but it can work. Like some, you know, in certain circumstances that can work. But that's why we, as the person who's dating, we have to be vocal and talk and ask questions, because so we can see where they're at mentally, as far as relationship is concerned. Because if you ask questions, you will know that they just got out of a relationship. And in your head, if it's not a red flag for you, it should be some type of flag coming up. Like, I don't care if it's mauve, a little light pink. It needs to be some type of flag that's coming up that's saying, okay, this person just got out of a relationship 3 months ago, and now they're saying that they love me. Or now they're saying that I am the stars, the moon, the clouds, and the birds above. You know what I'm saying? Like,
questions when I go into a relationship or
right.
even dating. You know, when was your last relationship? Mm-hmm. And why did you guys break up? Right? He or she doesn't have to tell you probably doesn't tell you the honest truth, because if the relationship ended because of something they did, you know, they probably don't want to paint that picture of themselves for you.
Right.
But that's one of the questions that I asked. When was your last relationship and why did it end?
Because we can definitely avoid, and I'm just being reasonable right now because of experience that I've gone through and I haven't asked the proper questions. Like, you have to go and it's for me now at this age, and now for younger women looking at us, if they could just take our lives and experience and learn from it, so they don't have to get where we are now and say, okay, if I knew then what I know now. Like, listen to what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to get to 45, 50 and be like, okay, I had these experiences, so now I know not to do this. Don't do this. Okay? Ask the questions that you need to ask and date. Like, people jump into full-fledged relationships without even having no dating period, no courting period. Like, you don't even know this person.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't know their values. You don't know what they stand for. You don't know how they act around other people. Like, go out with them, get to know them, and all this kind of stuff. And on the other side of that, I honestly do think you can make more, I don't want to say haste. You can make faster decisions when you're a little older, to me, I think. Mm-hmm. Because you have experience, mm-hmm. and you know what you want, and you know what you stand for. So it's like, listen, mm-hmm. I'm here for this, this, and this. If you don't stand for this, this, and this, then we could just not even move forward with this, because I don't want somebody who has this. I don't want somebody who has this. And if they have all those things, then at this age, I'm not even going to waste my time, because that's not something that I want.
I agree.
Yeah.
Plus these rebound relationships, like, I don't personally see rebound relationships really lasting. And even though it can last for a certain duration of years, but that those years invested doesn't really equate to true happiness, to right. True love. Sometimes it's like, well, this person is with someone, so I'm going to stay with this person just because. Right. I don't want to be by myself. Or you get used to this person, damn, I don't really want to hurt them. Or they have a lot of qualities. But for me, if you're not in love with someone, why be with someone? It's like, get a roommate. You know what I mean? Don't really string people along, because when you string people along, people who are hurt, you don't know what they can do with their emotions. That's a dangerous place to be. On the other end of it, you don't know how they'll react once they realize, wow, you're using me. Because if there's a window of your ex, well, something that I had written, let me find what I wrote here. If there's a time, like if there's, I'm sorry, all over the place, I'm definitely gonna edit this part. So if there's like a window of opportunity because you're hurt and this person is a rebound and your mind is fixated on your ex, if there's that window of opportunity for your ex coming in, you're gonna be out immediately. You know what I mean? And so that's really unfair to that individual that you're in. We don't know how their reaction would be. So that's why it's so very important for you to be in a healthy place emotionally and mentally before you jump into a relationship. Because you're going into it with deception. You're going into it already starting off with lies, right? And so how far is that really going to go? In your mind, you might think, okay, this is temporary. But in the other person's mind, they may think, okay, I found my person.
Right.
And you're like, oh, if somebody else comes back, I might just deuce you. You know, right. So I don't know.
That's why you gotta that's why you got, after a relationship, I am a firm believer, nobody could change my mind, that you have to deal with that past relationship and deal with yourself. Because it's two people in a relationship, so you had a part to play in it and he had a part to play in it. You got to deal with that, because you may think that, even like you said, what if a rebound relationship goes on for years, but you still didn't deal with that past relationship. If that person rears their head again, those emotions that you have for that person are going to come right back up. And this person now is like standing there like, and it's unfair to you and it's unfair to the person. It's unfair to all parties involved. So you really, sometimes, I know we don't want to deal with pain. Nobody wants to hurt. But it's part of, you know what I'm saying? It's part of life. Like it's
part of life. And I think there's always, I think that unfortunately, in really thinking about this topic, one partner might always be a rebound partner. You might be the rebounder and the other person might be the reboundee in every relationship you've been in. Unless, right? Isn't, when you really think about it.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Right. If you meet this person and they've just gotten out of relationship and you are their
reboundee.
You are their rebound, you know, and vice versa. Like Gigi said, they don't know if you just got out of a relationship and you're just, you know, trying to say, you're saying to yourself, I'm lonely. I don't want to be with anybody. He's already moved on. Now look at me. I'm sitting here crying, pining over him, and he's already moved on in another relationship. Like, I want to be out there and I want to be happy. Not happy, but I want the attention. I want to date, you know? So yeah, it's crazy. You might be the rebound.
But that's when the talking, I'm telling you, we don't ask enough questions. It's like, certain things when people tell me, I'm just like, how did you know that? If you didn't ask that question, you know what I'm saying? And I've been guilty of it. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, experience is a good teacher. Like, you have to ask questions. You have to be like, okay.
Because in those first dates, all we do is have surface conversations. And
that's the get to know you part.
That's the
yes. Instead of
those questions, though, right then.
Right.
No, exactly. Instead of, you know what? Not that I want to come off as aggressive, but I know what I want. Like we said, we know what we want and we know where we are at this stage in our lives. You know, when we go on a date, just ask the questions. You can
ask questions. You can ask. It's a way to word things. We're all intelligent women here. It's a way to word things without coming off like, oh, are you ready to get married tomorrow? Like, no, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you know that in your future, you want to be married, you have to say, you know, you can just gently, you word it in a way that to let him know that this is something that you're looking for in your future. And if you hear him say that he has no aspiration, no consideration, he's not considering it, then you know that this is somebody who you could probably maybe be friends with, but definitely somebody you can't date. Because that's something, if you want to be married and he has no intention on getting married, why are you wasting your time at 45, 50 years old with somebody like that? You don't have that much time ahead of you now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I know, so it's very important to ask those questions in the beginning. And now rebounds actually feel like love or true love. Because as I mentioned, the whole euphoria in the beginning, and that's because the person who just got out of that relationship and didn't have that recovery time wants to be in love. They want to feel that love. And so somehow in their mind, they've kind of believed my rebound is the person I want to be with, not realizing, again, that this person is a rebound. You're just in love with love. You're in love with the attention. You're misinterpreting the whole thing. And so again, you start in this relationship on this complete falsehood, not on a solid foundation, just because you think you are in love with this person, but you're not. You're not really in love with this person because you haven't dealt with those emotions of that previous relationship. And so I think that's how relationship kind of start off really jacked up. And if you're in a relationship, and I think a sign from me, there's a couple of signs, but I think that if you're in a relationship, a rebound relationship, one of the signs will probably be you're arguing immediately. Like there's already arguments. Like,
oh God, yeah.
Honeymoon season, or you're breaking up constantly and getting back together. If you started off and you haven't dealt with your relationship issues prior to, in looking at yourself, you're bringing this baggage in here. This person is a rebound. It's like a making for disaster. You're going to constantly argue because you're not rid of those emotions tied to your previous partner.
It's
So
funny.
you're going to constantly argue and break up and stuff like that. Yes, go ahead.
There was a person, I know someone who was in a relationship with this guy, and he was very possessive and very controlling. And, she had sent me a couple of screenshots of their conversations and things like that, asking for advice and things like that. So, I gave her my advice. Long story short, they broke up and he started seeing someone else, rebound relationship, because he was trying to forget her. It was like a quick love triangle. She, I guess, got in contact, or the girl that he was seeing after her got in contact with her and sent her copies of their conversation as well. So she saw them, she read them, and then she sent them to me. And it's so funny. His conversation was the same conversation that he had with her, whereas he was controlling and the doubt. So when you talk about how how people jump from relationship to relationship and they don't take that time to heal, whatever it is that he was dealing with in his previous relationship, he went into the next one that he was trying to create, because his conversation was the same, where it was controlling. Why did you feel you need to be controlling in a new relationship when this person hasn't exhibited any of the qualities of the previous relationship, the previous person that you were in? So why are you bringing that controlling behavior into a new relationship? So that definitely was a rebound relationship. I mean, she eventually found out that it was, he admitted to her that he was trying to forget her by being with someone else. So,
but then that person might have already had her feelings invested, and then
she continued. Even though he didn't want to be with her, I guess it was a one-night stand or whatever, she continued to call him and continued to harass him and now she started harassing the girl and calling every day. And so it was crazy.
Rebounds, honey, can turn into stalkers. The person could literally try to kill you. Like, you have to be very, very careful with people's emotions.
Right. You really do.
Relationship, but particularly with a rebound relationship.
It's funny because it's so funny because he met her, the rebound girl, at his job.
Oh,
And
God.
because he did not want to continue her advances, she told them at his job that he was sexually harassing her.
Shut the front door. So his
You know
rebound
what I'm
is a freaking psychopath.
First of all,
Yeah.
look at me. I'm like, first of all, and I've been guilty of dating somebody who I work with. That for me, that is a no-no. You do not date where you work at, because
I say that all the time.
normally you don't date where you work at. Normally you don't date because it is not going to work out.
Yeah, yeah.
If it doesn't work out, it's so uncomfortable.
Yes,
Sometimes it does, right. Sometimes it does work out, and you don't have to deal with that craziness because it's working out. But if it doesn't work out and it was a rebound relationship too, it's like all he did was take your friend and take that girl and put her. It was just a different face. He was just doing the same things, with her. Yeah.
So there's some signs that I found, like a couple of signs of that you are rebound deep. And Jackie had already mentioned, like, they just got out of a serious relationship. For me, that's red flag number one.
Mm-hmm.
You just got, but that's why it can work. There's these conversations that you guys were saying and we all agree upon. At our age, we gotta ask those questions.
Right.
That's 3 years or 3 or 4 years that have lapsed in between relationships. Then okay, I'm not a reboundee. We can talk. Let's see what we could do moving forward. Now if it was last month,
not last month,
Jack. And something
it's
else,
never gonna be last month.
if they only want to talk about their ex,
hell no.
Or they want to avoid talking about the ex.
Yeah.
Right.
Hiding. Why can't you talk? Is that that's like a trigger for you? You want to go back? Like, so that's like a sign. And I'm going to just pick one more. It was when they do not try to commit to a long-term plan. If they're avoiding a long-term relationship, maybe it's because they're still not over their ex. And they want to dip that toe. They got one toe in. There's a little window of opportunity, So these were some signs. There's a whole lot of other signs, but these are some of the ones that kind of stood out to me. And another one is they give you mixed signals. Damn, I think they like me, but I don't know if they like me. You gotta know. I gotta know. My dude that I'm interested in is sending me a lot of signs that they're as interested in me as I'm interested in them. So these are some of the signs for you to look at of this person's not really into me. Maybe we could be friends, go out to have a few drinks once in a blue moon, but that's about it.
I think that that's one of the points that you made. Long-term relationships, if they're not interested, I think that would be a good thing for you to know. Right, if they exhibited that they don't want to be in a long-term relationship, especially if that's where you are geared towards going. Exactly. Thank you for letting me know that you're not interested in being in a long-term relationship, because I am at this point in my life, I am interested in being in a long-term relationship. So I would be happy that they actually let me know, that they're not interested in being in a long-term relationship, because the point that I'm in my life right now, I know what direction that I want to go into. And although we may not be mimicking each other and everything, our values and our standards and beliefs need to be lined up with each other. So
I agree.
Right?
If you're dating someone, you're not gonna date them just because they're good looking,
right?
Or, they have a good paying job. No, your ideas and your values and the road that you're on to the future, it has to be similar. You have to want like 85%, you have to want the same things. Because yes, I know we all gonna have different values and different, ideas, but our journeys have to be kind of similar in order for us to invest in this relationship and want to move forward. If not, like you said, that's a red flag, and I'm not gonna waste my time, because again, it's not all about age, but we have to reiterate because we are up there in age and we don't have all these years to sit here and date 10, 15 people now and trying to say, oh, this is the one. Oh, no, maybe not. I'm going to date him for, no.
He is the energy.
Yes. and you know what? You want to find your person so that you could, that time that you have left, you could enjoy it together.
We're not
This is just finding a person and then next year you pass away or he passes away. Like, no.
I agree.
And I'm gonna go. I agree. I like that percent that you gave, Jackie. I think that's a good chunky percent, 85%. But for me, my person that I'm getting with now, I know it's not going to be a bed of roses. I know it's not going to be all the time. I know. But I'm saying at this age, I want at least 97.5% of the time that we are together to be euphoric.
Yes.
It should, you know what I mean? I know we're going to disagree, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree. You can be mad, go in your little corner, pout, do whatever you got to do. But I know we're going to come back together and we'll be fine. Like the majority of our relationship, for me, at this stage, age, and person who I am in my life, it needs to be 97.5% of our relationship is like it's cotton candy.
Absolutely. We need to strive for that.
Yeah.
We need to strive for that. We've already, I think at this point, we should have already been through our heartaches, our bumps and bruises. I think we should have been through it.
Right.
And now, if we're not in a relationship or we're finding a relationship, I think that, it should be 97.5. We should be past all the drama, all the stupidity, all the immaturity, because we know what we want.
Yeah.
And we should have it. Like, there's no reason why we should not have it. We should have it.
I agree.
I'm like, no, I just want to be with someone who we are like-minded. We want the same things. You know, now the person who I get with, this is the person I want to be parked with for, you know.
That's it.
Ideally for me, that's what it is. You know, it may not happen that way, but ideally, this is what I'm looking for. So this is why I'm going to be so conscious and intentional and purposeful in everything that I do right now, as far as relationship is concerned.
And that's because we've all taken that time to self-reflect. We've all had that recovery period. We all know what the negative things we brought to the table. We all know how to self-correct at this moment. You know, how to get over certain things that are minute. Those 97% of the time, that's excellent. The 3%, those Negroes are going to get on our nerves. But are we going to allow those 3% that we would have allowed in the past dictate whether or not I want to stay in this relationship?
Exactly.
Right.
Back in the day, you would have said, I'm out.
That 3%, I would have been going skates on.
Now it's different. 3% is nothing.
Right.
Those are minor things. You will never get 100% out of a person. It's impossible. You're dealing with two different personalities. But when you start off the right way, they're not rebound. You're transparent. You're communicating. You're honest. You're honest. You talk things through. You know what? Then that relationship is going to work.
When you think about the things, the huge things that relationships are going through, like infidelity, you know, just the big issues that break marriages and break relationships, opposed to, oh, like he has an attitude. You know, like, are you really gonna say it's over because you have an attitude, or it's over?
You told me no.
Yeah, or it's over because every time you talk, I cut you off.
Yeah.
You breaking up with your partner because every time that you talk, they cut you off, opposed to like, damn, he's been cheating on her for.
He's beating my ass.
And he's having a baby behind her back. Like, come on, are you good? You have to weigh your battles here. Like, you gotta pick up because she's cutting you off in a conversation, or because she's cheating or he's cheating and having a baby outside the relationship or the marriage.
Right.
Like, come on, what's serious here?
I agree, guys.
That was so good. Like, what is serious here? Like, even with arguments, like sometimes they can get heated. Sometimes they are going to get heated. But you know what? Go in your corner. I'm going to go in my corner, and we need to go into this knowing that when we get in these heated arguments, know that I don't love you less. I don't care about you less. But right now, I may not want to see your face, so just walk that way. It's okay, and we're coming back together. But I'm not leaving you because I had an argument with you.
Just because we didn't relate in our relationship.
Right.
That's normal. And
Yes.
as adults, we handle it differently. As people who've gone through a healing process emotionally, we handle it differently.
Yeah.
You know? So,
and sometimes you have to check your partner because you see them getting in their feelings. It's like, listen.
Oh, yes, honey.
Come on out of your feelings. Oh. This is just something we're going through right now. Like, this is not anything that is a reflection of our relationship. We having a moment right now. Right.
You don't have to carry it over. It's so different where I'm at. Where we are at, it's very different. You have to just learn how, especially at 50, almost 50, you have to just learn how to just let things go.
Right.
And that's it, because it's really not worth it. Who's to say we're going to have another 50? I'm going to spend relationship time.
Exactly. So you're going to spend 1 year happy and 49 years miserable?
Not at all. I'm going to be euphoric 97.5% time of our relationship is going to be euphoric.
I'm telling you, this is what I'm saying. Like, that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm striving for. And yeah. Yeah.
Another topic that
we all deserve it. We all deserve it.
And that's another thing. Yeah, that's probably gonna be another topic because I'm about to digress.
Topic,
we have to allow ourselves to be treated as such. Because sometimes you were in such jacked up relationships when somebody is treating you like a queen. You like, oh, are they doing too much? They doing this? Yeah. No, let them do what they doing.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yes, that's called self-sabotage, but that's another topic.
That is the topic.
Well, yes. Okay. You're
right. To talk about. So we're gonna definitely hit those topics up because
So this one, I love this talk. This was very
great one.
Yeah.
So are you the rebounder or the reboundee? Look at your partner and figure out, how did you start your relationship?
Right.
Leave those comments. Are you still with the person? I would love to know. Or did you take time to figure out who you were? And did they take time
always ask questions when you get with somebody new, so you can know what direction, if you guys are moving in the same direction.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So find us at the number 2 PRBG on YouTube. That's gonna be on YouTube. Obviously, that's where you're watching us on Instagram, on all our medias, on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify, Facebook, and all you have to do, people, is when you see us on YouTube, what do they have to do, girls? They have to do what?
Subscribe and like.
Subscribe and like, and then you go to our little link tree on YouTube. Click, boom. We everywhere you want us to be. Right? Like magic. So,
until next time on
2 Puerto Ricans and a
Black Girl.
Yay!
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. All right. See you guys later.